Well, hello there. This is Jerry Nichols. And like just about everybody out there, I have a fondness and admiration for the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. So you can imagine my surprise when my neighbor brought me an article of which I knew nothing. Abraham Lincoln's favorite poem. I want to share that with you a little bit on the introduction and the poem itself. It gives you a deep insight into his personality and what he thought was good. And now I'll read an introduction to Abraham Lincoln's favorite poem. In the 1830s, Dr. Jason Duncan introduced Lincoln to the poem Mortality, sometimes called Immortality, or Oh, Why Should the Spirit of Mortal Be Proud? At the time, the increasingly melancholy Lincoln lived in New Salem, Illinois, and had already lost several friends and relatives to death. Gradually, Lincoln memorized the piece, but did not know the author's identity until late in life. He became so identified with the poem that some people thought he had written it. However, he only wished he had. He once remarked, "I would give all I'm worth and go in debt to be able to write so fine a piece as I think that is." The author, a descendant of the reformer John Knox, published the poem in a collection called The Songs of Israel in 1824, shortly before his own death at age 36. Lawrence Weldon, who traveled the law circuit with Lincoln, recalled Lincoln reciting the poem in 1860. He said the weird and melancholy association of eloquence and poetry had a strong fascination for Mr. Lincoln's mind. Tasteful composition, either of prose or poetry, which faithfully contrasted the realities of eternity with the unstable and fickle fortune of time, made a strong impression on his mind. And now I'll share the poem Mortality by William Knox that Lincoln so loved. Oh, why should the spirit of mortal be proud? Like the swift fleeting meteor, a fast flying cloud, a flash of the lightning, a break of the wave, he passeth from life to his rest in the grave. The leaves of the oak and willow shall fade, be scattered around and together be laid. And the young and the old, the low and the high, shall moulder to dust, and together shall lie. The infant a mother attended and loved, the mother that infant's affection who proved, the husband that mother and the infant blessed, each all are away to their dwellings of rest. The maid on whose cheek, on whose brow, in whose eyes shone beauty and pleasure, her triumphs are by, and the memory of those who loved her and praised are alike from the minds of the living erased. The king that the scepter hath borne, the brow of the priest that his mitre hath worn, the eye of the sage and the heart of the brave are hidden and lost in the depths of the grave. The peasant whose lot was to sow and to reap, the herdsman who climbed with his goats up the steep, the beggar who wandered in search of his bread, have faded away like the grass that we tread. The saint who enjoyed the communion of heaven, the sinner who dared to remain unforgiven, the wise and the foolish, the guilty and the just, have quietly mingled their bones in the dust. So the multitude goes, like the flower or the weed, that withers away to let others succeed. So the multitude comes, even those we behold, to repeat every tale that has often been told. For we are the same our fathers have been, we see the same sights our fathers have seen. We drink the same stream, we view the same sun, and run the same course our fathers have run. The thoughts we are thinking, our fathers would think. From death we are shrinking, our fathers would shrink. To the life we are clinging, they also would cling. But it speeds from us, all like a bird on the wing. They loved, but the story we cannot unfold. They scorned, but the heart of the haughty is cold. They grieved, but no wail from the slumber will come. They joyed, but the tongue of their gladness is dumb. They died, aye, they died. We things that are now, that walk on the turf that lies over their brow, and make in their dwellings a transient abode, meet the things that they met on their pilgrimage road. Yea, I hope, and despondency, pleasure and pain are mingled together in sunshine and rain. And the smile and the tear, the song and the dirge, still follow each other like surge upon surge. 'Tis the wink of an eye, 'tis the draught of a breath, from the blossom of health to the paleness of death, from the gilded saloon to the bier in the shroud. Oh, why should the spirit of mortal be proud? Forgetting the melancholy for a while, I think the poem grounded Lincoln and grounded many in life's realities, humbling each of us as we need to be humbled. Thanks for listening.